There are students, ada mahasiswa, ada dari LSM, from NGOs we've been working with, dari DKI Jakarta, terima kasih, dari Bappenas. Very nice to see all of you, and I think that also is what the Living Lab is about, connecting each other, connecting students with stakeholders, with the private sector, with governments, because if we join forces, we are stronger to create a more sustainable and resilient future for all of us. I will leave it here. William, are you ready to share a bit more about how this Living Lab actually started last year?
Yes, Lotte, thank you for introducing me. I'm quite ready. So a very good morning to my colleagues in the Netherlands. It's a very misty, wintry day today here, and a very fine afternoon to our friends, colleagues, and visitors in Jakarta. I'm quite jealous of you walking around in t-shirts and in batik, because it's really cold at the moment. So let me tell you about the Knowledge House and the Living Lab project. So the Netherlands Knowledge House is a group of universities and University of Applied Sciences in Indonesia and in the Netherlands working together as an association. So we are a group of education institutions, and we are united together with the idea of international cooperation with Indonesia. So this is a fully initiated initiative by education institutions supported by the Dutch government and by the Indonesian government. They are not members, but they are fully supporting our ideas in our program. So when Lotte said that we started in 2024, the history of the Living Lab is actually much broader in the sense from the Netherlands Knowledge House. It started with an idea of how to cooperate together, bringing more value to education cooperation that we just already have. So in 2023, the members proposed to work together with students and with staff in an instrument which is called a Living Lab. So the Living Lab is a model of cooperation together, bringing different perspectives, different expertise to work on a local challenge. And seeing as the agenda of Indonesia and the Netherlands at that moment was being formed by the Sustainable Development Goals, by climate change, by sustainability issues on energy, space, water, and anything which can be combined with that, we decided to propose a call for ideas on what is relevant to the people of Indonesia, which could be supported by students working together internationally. And from there, in 2023, we started with this idea of calling out for ideas. In 2024, working to make that idea more concrete, and Kampung Collective came out as a very challenging yet very attractive idea to work with. And in 2024, we did all the work with the students, with universities, with friends, to be now where we are, with a presentation on the solutions. So it's a long journey, which just started now with this pilot, ending today. But it's not a place where we stop. It's the idea of the Living Lab is that anything which comes out of it should and could be taken over by the beneficiaries locally. So it does not stop after the project ends today, but it goes on to be contributed to in any way by everybody who feels or is called to contribute and to help the people of Susun Kunir and the general society in Jakarta or Indonesia. So I would like to say special thanks to Kampung Collective, to Dinda, to Mas Ikra, that we have already made not just a project, but we already forged a lot of friendships by working together, understanding the differences, but also the commonalities, the many things we share together as having fun, eating, having fun, discussing what's designed, and enjoying the idea of changing perspectives of sustainability. So actually, Living Lab is not just a project, it's bringing communities and people and ideas together. And I would like to close by saying it's not just about the project team of Saxion, of Eres, of the Haagse Hogeschool, or from Nuffic. It is about all the friends who have joined us on this journey, the people from Ivo Selly, from the President University, a great team behind Erlanga University, the teachers, the coaches, but also all the people we met during the project who contributed to the ideas which are being made by the students. And with special thanks also to the Dutch embassy, who's been giving their hospitality through all this time. Without their support and moral support, we would not be where we are today. So without much saying about the project, I would like to give the floor to Kampung Collectief to give their idea forwards and how they wish to see this project to continue. So Lotte, back to you.
Yes, thank you so much, William. And you're completely true. We met so many stakeholders and friends along the way of this project. So I think we can have a very nice discussion today as well and share ideas with each other. But I would like to invite Linda to the floor to introduce the Kampung Collectief and the case. Linda.
Hello. I will test the clicker a bit. Okay. So, thank you, William, for the introduction. Oh,
That's like people can see.
yeah, that makes sense. So this project all started last year, around June. Here?
Yes.
Okay. So this might be not like a typical research for Indonesia. This is a research where Indonesian students and Dutch students collaborated, but it all started with a visit in June of last year to a kampung in the area of Kota Tua that has a quite unique history and quite unique story, and I'll tell you about that. But to get things a bit straight, since I think it gets confusing with all the other names, Nuffic and the NL Knowledge House are our matchmakers to find the universities participating in this program. Kampung Collectief, which is and Mas Ikra, are the case owners. More easily understandable in Indonesia, maybe as like the pemilik studi kasus, like people who come up with the question and the topic and design the program. And there are two university teams, one from Saxion and Erlanga and one from the Hague and Erlanga. So we introduce ourselves as the Living Lab case owners. Kampung Collectief is a group of designers that came together from the What If Lab program. We are me, myself, and Linda, Mas Ikra, you can stand up a bit maybe for the video. We also have Isabel, Gosha, and Pip. So we're all designers, but from different fields in design, and we've come to this way of seeing the topic as designers. And we work with a little goal of ours to maybe share a message that there are kampungs in the future, meaning that whatever we do, how we learn from the past, and what actions we take today will have an impact for future generations. And it's our responsibility as ancestors to consider this in whatever we take and whether we try to design or what solutions we try to offer. So why research with kampungs? Like, maybe as Indonesians, we understand the concept of this as quite strange. The community of kampungs, we might think like, oh, how can they participate? Well, through the What If Lab program, we asked what if we co-create sustainable public space in Indonesia? So with the dense kampung and the tight-knit community, how can we make use of that in a way that we co-create sustainable public space? And these are our co-creators. Do you want to stand up? Okay, we have the Kampung residents in the audience. Maybe do you want to? For the water lab program, but the living lab also includes Kampung Balokan residents. So this is a little map of the area where we work with. If you are familiar with Kota Tua, you will know it's only 5 minutes away. So it's quite close whenever you visit. Visit there too. They are very welcoming, Kampung Balokan and Kampung Kunir. And the orange is the new Kampung Kunir building. You can scan the QR and it will take you to the Google Maps, but I will move on for you to so a little history about Kota Tua. Since I'll be laying down the background of why the students are researching here, we start with the river. The Chilibung River is the lifeline of a lot of communities from way back in our ancestors' period. This picture was drawn in the 1800s, but communities have lived there for so long and relied on the river for food, for water, for trade. And it's also why the place is quite appealing, because it's near what's next to what's then built as the Sunda Fort, and then the Dutch came, built the city of Batavia, and now you see the river is quite different. It's quite straight. It's now canals. It's now a wall built in between. So who gets to stay inside the wall? Who gets to stay outside the wall? What communities grow from there? And this wall persisted. So in the 1600s, and then you can see the 1700s, and 2015, where a small kampung in Kota Tua, where we focus on Kampung Kunir for the What If Lab project, used to be. But in 2015, they were evicted. So after a few years of working together, the current look of the kampung is quite different now. It's no longer sprawling, but it's still, you can see that we are living in how our ancestors planned the city and how we are continuing to live their legacy. And a little bit of a fun fact, if you visit the Museum Jakarta, there's a little quote that I like. It says, all of Jakarta is one big kampung. And it's quite true, because back then, when you are Indonesian or have not a typical Indonesian community, wouldn't be allowed inside the wall. So a lot of people who live today would have ancestors that lived in kampungs and continue to live in communities here. Okay. To set the stage a bit, now we're continuing to live beside the walls, the remnants of the old colonial buildings. This can be found near Kampung Tongko, about 5 minutes away from Kampung Kunir. This is Gudang Timur. And there was actually a research done in 9 kampungs around Kota Tua called the Invisible Walls. They researched the history with the kampung, so that's also interesting to take a look at. So, because we are talking about What If Lab, we want to tell you a bit about the history of the Kampung Susun Kunir. Back then, because its location is quite close to the river, it enjoyed quite a green, luscious space, and the residents also loved to plant trees. And they won the Jakarta Green and Clean Award in 2010. So they got recognition from the government that they were doing quite a good job. But unfortunately, in 2015, a traumatic event happened to the kampung, and the residents lost their homes in the evictions. So what next? So what now? After they were evicted in 2015, there was a big question of, so what can we do? Their land that used to be their homes now is a parking lot for waste management cars. Their homes became a street, and there wasn't much of a path towards the solution. But researchers came. So this is photos from the first What If Lab back in 2018 by architect Hamil Muhammad. He, along with quite a few agencies like JRMFA, Akur, UPC, went with the kampungs, they offered them, what if we came up with a solution? How would you like to resolve this question? What would be a good outcome from working with the kampung? And how can they take a role in designing and creating a vision of the future? And it worked. The Kampung Susun Kunir was built in 2022, and they moved in around 2023, 2022. So this is what it looked like when we came as designers of What If Lab. And we continue to look for an opportunity to co-create sustainable public space. That's how I get it. So this is a video of the project. So we a little bit to help me present. This is a video with the words of the Kampung residents also included, and the video from other designers as well. Technical difficulties, please wait.
It's a challenge, hyper
Challenge to do. It's always weird to do a video playing in. Yeah, okay, we can play it now. So this is a premiere of the newer version, but there has been a revision. Can you play the sound, Mas?
Itu digusur. Kampung Kunir adalah sebuah kampung yang terletak di Jakarta Barat dekat Kota Tua. Di tahun 2015, kampung tersebut itu digusur, dan semenjak itu warganya itu tetap untuk bersatu agar mendapatkan kembali hak atas mukimnya. Kami bersama warga mencoba merumuskan berbagai model habitat atau hunian barunya.
Karena memang Acon sekarang ini cuma hanya 33 kakak aja yang berdominan di sini. Dulu kan sampai ya bahasanya tuh ada kurang lebih sekitar 70 lebih lah satu deret ini. Karena memang dulu kita dibilangnya tuh rumah deret. Secara sosial kita tadi saling gotong royong, guyup, ya bahu-membahu lah seperti itu. Karena memang ada satu kegiatan tadi yang istilahnya benar-benar ini loh kampung yang identiknya dengan tadi aktivitas warganya.
Jadi tempat ini disebut Kampung Susun karena secara kolektif waktu itu kita merencanakan ada semacam kontinuitas dari kehidupan kampung yang lama menjadi kehidupan kampung yang baru yang kali ini bersifat tersusun atau menumpuk ke atas.
So the What Is Led program in Kampung Kunir, we invite 5 designers from Indonesia and also from the Netherlands to answer the very fundamental questions of what is clean, sustainable public space that contextualize with the residents of Kampung Kunir, or also how they can think about their future.
We had a nice group of designers together, and we just started to talk about how to approach the project and which steps to take. And I think communication-wise, it went very well, and I think we had a nice atmosphere between all the designers.
I came in as a fresh graduate compared to maybe other designers that have experience. So I had adjusted expectations to what the process would be like, since maybe I'm not experienced enough for this group. But then as we started designing, it was apparent that, even the professionals have difficulties during the process, and it isn't ever a linear line from start to beginning.
But we were thinking like a kind of activity that would be simple, but also feels natural. That's why we try to do something simple with the children to create mass out of waste.
Our starting point was actually want to have a better relationship between the house, the Kampung Susun, the road, and also the water. Of course, there are some idea need to be tested. So I hope that can kick off a new discussion about what we should do in Kampung Kunir.
Bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu, ayo mau berangkat.
Kampung Kunir itu hidup di sana itu gotong royong, saling membahu dari orang tuanya sampai remaja, anak-anak.
Kita berjuang bareng-bareng untuk generasi anak kita selanjutnya, biar mereka tidak merasakan apa yang telah orang tua dulu rasakan. Mereka tinggal menikmati hasil jeripaya dari orang tuanya itu sendiri.
Harapannya sih biar bisa keluarganya kompak aja sih.
Terus makin bergotong royong, menolong.
Lebih terjaga kerukunannya, saling bersosialisasi gitu, nggak cuek.
Public space is not just a leftover space in the city. It is actually a crucial part of the ecosystem that holds together the city. Through small interventions on the short term, we can actually change the perception of urban spaces on the long term and look towards a future in which public space is the core of healthy and resilient cities.
I think this is a beautiful example of how different disciplines can work on social and environmental issues, combine their strength, and work based on an equal relationship.
The expectations from Erasmus House for this project, I dearly believe and hope that the designers find a solution how to make public spaces in Indonesia more interesting, available, and also commercialize it to the audience, so it is a livable place and an accessible place.
So we move back to the presentation. So we couldn't book Mas Kamil, Mas Adil, Mas Gosha because they're very busy people, but we got them in the video. So, the future of campus. So we did our research with their participation in different kinds of workshops throughout 2023 to 2024. There were multiple times where we came to the kampung when Isabel and Pim could join us, and later on as we have visited Indonesian designers. This picture is always a favorite of mine to show because it was an open-ended question to the children and some of the adults, like what kind of future kampung would you want? Like what would be like the ideal kampung? And the kids would answer roller coaster, and we would draw a roller coaster. But it's also, when we asked it to the adults, it was quite harder for them to imagine, I think, because it's always grounded in realism, and they aren't often asked that question. They aren't often involved in decision making and how their community grows, what kind of infrastructure development happens there, what kind of infrastructure development might affect them. So it's always quite interesting for us to be able to do these kinds of workshops, to be able to do these interventions with them. And maybe someday there would be a roller coaster, but we tried to start from something small first. So this is one workshop we did where we showed the different designs that could be possible. We learned from how the community uses space as public space designers. So it's quite more flexible, quite more relaxed. People just make public space wherever they need it. And they love to gather as a community. They love that the fruits that they used to be able to pick outside of their homes was a source of nourishment and community for them. And they were able to see like, oh, possibilities in how we use waste, how we can create something out of it. So this was one of the first times we showed the design that we tried to come up with to ask them like, oh, do you like this? Do you see this is possible? And it was always quite confusing for them because making a park on the street is always confusing for everyone. But this is something that they can use and adjust to however they like it. This is us assembling it once. And then we did the full version where we could use it as a community. This was after the exhibition in Erasmus House. The design is, we have a few models with us that use this. The models are here in the audience, some of them. This was one thing that I've always liked to share about this picture. We did not invite the Ondel dancer. The Ondel dancer came on its own. So it gave us quite a great picture for our publications. They use it for different events. And we had interest from, so after our exhibition stopped, we did a tour of exhibitions, and then the Minister of Media and Culture came to Indonesia and visited the kampung. And not only that, we had also the minister, the ambassador of international cultural cooperation visit the kampung as well. So it's quite interesting that formal visits come to the kampung. And it's very interesting that we also did a follow-up project where the design that was designed in the kampung with the kampung was made in Rotterdam as well. This is in the Tarabavite neighborhood in that we call the blue planters now Tarawatau. So similar, they also went through the building together, designing, maybe minor adjustments. Because it's quite different to produce something like that here and there. It's 10 times the price. And we did an exhibition in the design week where we got to show the culture of Indonesia's kampungs and how the collaboration worked out and how it's being used in Rotterdam. So the two sister planters are now being used by two different communities. And now we try to make a vision together. So with how the kampung starts with these planters, how this maybe small action can create permanent solutions, how maybe by showing that the communities and kampungs and researchers that come to do work there have made great work. And we also have a table in the back of the research that people have done with the kampungs of Kota, not only about Kampung Kunir, but also the neighboring kampungs across it. And we try to open up this field of research of how we grow communities that could ultimately lead us to that big goal with the living lab. So we try to send this message that, yeah, what we try today, what visions that we make for the future will be lived by our children and the children of our children. And through this living lab, through having students research with us, students researching with communities, and the many, many people they've met, we try to build this narrative of possibility growing from actions today. And they are students, so please go easy on them, but also be critical of what they've made. I'm sorry, I have to say. And I think that's my last. No, we have If you want to learn a bit more about the project, you can scan this to see our Instagram, and it has a catalog in the right. The catalog, the printed version is also in the back. Okay. So far, that's it for me. I think Lotta will introduce the two teams of the Living Lab. They are not competing. They are just two different teams.
Thank you so much, Linda. Yeah, I hope that gives a great understanding of how this Living Lab actually builds on a previous project by the Living Lab designers, and now involving students as well. They're two different teams, but they're all working on the same topic, which is co-creating a more sustainable future together with the Kampung residents. It's quite interesting, I would say, those teams, because we have very multidisciplinary teams. As shown before, we have a team from Universitas Airlangga collaborating with a team from Saxion University of Applied Sciences, where there are students from urban planning, economic and business, political science, even English literature and public health. So very diverse, but they all have their unique view on a sustainable future. Then we have a team from Universitas Airlangga as well, collaborating with students from the Hague University of Applied Sciences. And this is a team with students from communication, European studies, and environmental engineering. They've all been here. They've all visited the kampung. Mereka sudah bersahabat sama warga Kampung Kunir dan Kampung Balapan. I would like to give the floor to the Saxion and UNR team first. Again, some of them are here today. Thank you so much for coming, and some of them are joining online. Should I give the microphone first to you, or who will kick off?
Okay, thank you, Lotte, for the course, and I will open a city landmark and human welfare become two elements that connected to reach the sustainable cities and communities. Hello everyone, selamat sore. We are from UNER and Saxion, and we would like to present our findings and interventions regarding our projects about our findings in Living Lab project. So this is our team, and how we collaborate with each other. We came up with a diverse background, diverse fields, and we want to focus our three projects in the green and open spaces, sustainability part, and external analysis.
So our collaboration took us to 5 kampung across Jakarta, including Kampung Balokan and Kampung Susun Kunir. During this visit, we engaged with local communities and observed their living condition and gained valuable insight about their aspiration and challenges. So by fostering direct interaction, we aim to better understand their needs and explore potential solution for the sustainable development.
Next, you have next. Then ask Melissa to unmute herself in the microphone.
Yes.
Oh, yay.
Little word there.
So I'm going to tell you something as well about our collaboration. When we were there, we visited the kampung and we collaborated with the residents and with the students. And we came up with a lot of interventions. And how we did it was at first an observation. We looked at the kampung and the surrounded areas. And we also had an interview with the residents. So we talked with the youth, with the head of the corporation and the adults. And we also read something about the kampung and Jakarta and its surroundings in literature. And when we interviewed the people, we noticed some changes. The first thing is that there is not enough space for the youth to gather. The electricity costs are very high. They are not utilizing the garden to its potential, and the kampung has untapped potential for tourism.
Kampung has changed over time with the urbanization reducing its green space. This shift has affected everyone in the community, especially the children. Quoting from them, our neighborhoods used to be place where children could run and play freely, but now with so many motorcycles passing by and so little green space left, it feels like they have lost their playground. One of the key challenges facing the kampung is the lack of green space and green space to foster community bonding. Addressing this issue aligned with Kota THUAS vision, which is preserving cultural heritage. So our approach is structured around 6 different areas, which is sustainable development, climate management, economic development, public health, governance, and cultural preservation. Through the integration of green infrastructure, we aim to enhance resilience and improve the better quality of life in the kampung. This initiative closely aligns with the 4 SDGs, which is decent work and economic growth, and sustainable cities and communities, life on land, and lastly, partnership for the goals. By fostering collaboration and strategic planning, we strive to build a sustainable future for the kampung.
So the first thing we came up with the Kota THUAS treasure hunt. This will be a treasure hunt for tourists or people from around the neighborhood who are interested in learning about the history of Kota THUAS. This treasure hunt creates a bigger connection between the kampung and Kota THUAS. It creates knowledge about the kampung and its existence, and the residents can tell their story. It also will have an economical benefit, which I will tell you later. This brochure is just a shorter version of the treasure hunt, which will show the map, some information and what you can do there. And this brochure will be made out of seed paper, which can be planted into new plants. Next slide, please. Oh. Can we go one back? Yeah. Then we have the map with the route. The people will have a break in Kampung Susun Kunir. In this way, the people can buy the merchandise or buy a drink or the rujak and have a break and talk to the residents and hear about their story. Next slide, please. And on the brochure will also be a QR code, which will bring you to an interactive game of a treasure hunt. You will receive cards with questions and information about each point of the treasure hunt, and you will get a question and the next lead to the next location. Next slide, please.
Okay, as part of treasure hunt, we are offering exclusive merchandise. So this is a reward and appreciation to everyone or visitor tourists that already complete successfully for the treasure hunt. There include t-shirt, tote bag, and spice and seed from our vertical garden, and there are also secret bag. There some of design is created by one of the children from Kampung Susun Kunir. Next. Okay, so this is our second project, it's vertical garden. So we decided to implement vertical garden because the community in Kampung Susun Kunir was shift from horizontal living to vertical living, and we saw a lack of space. And vertical garden has enhanced the quality of life because there's served fresh and homegrown produce. And benefits are offered from vertical gardens is promotion of healthy lifestyles, optimizing of limited space, and supporting economic sufficiency. There's
Sorry, I can't see the slide. It's maybe it's that's why, but yeah. When we had the interview, oh. Yes. When we had the interview with the residents of the kampung, there were three main points that stood out for us. And they told us they needed more space for gathering and connection with each other. They wanted more green in the kampung, and they wanted a safe playground for the kids. So I will tell you something about the Riverside Green Space first. Can we go to the next slide, or? Yeah. In the drawings, you can see the before situation, so the situation now and the after situation. The Riverside Green Space provides more social cohesion. The people from inside and outside the kampung can meet each other here. The Riverside Green Space also provides green, which contributes to reducing the heat stress. And most importantly, because of the platform is above the river, the people of the kampung can see how polluted the river is, which will create more awareness about the polluted river. The residents have to see the river as a friend and not as an enemy. Next slide, please. Then I'll tell you something about the green strip. The green strip now along the canal is green, but there are not many trees. So it's important to plant more trees, which provide fruits for the rujak salad, which can be sold. This will also have an economical benefit for the kampung. More green will also create shade against heat stress and cleans the air of the kampung. Also, the green creates a more attractive kampung for the residents and the visitors. Next slide, please. And the last one is the playground. The residents told us they need a safe playing space for the children. Now the children play on the street, which can be very dangerous because of the traffic. So we came up with a playground with elements that are portable and made out of sustainable materials. And the playground also needs to be more green. Yes, thank you.
Sorry, I can't see the slides.
So all the interventions we designed for Kampung Susun Kunir are designed with sustainability in mind, and we want to address both environmental and social challenges while improving the quality of life for the Kampung community. So the first intervention is solar parking, and there's a parking lot besides the Kampung Susun Kunir building, and there's a lot of space that we can use to put solar panels in there. And also in other urban areas that are suitable, we can implement solar this will reduce the energy costs for the Kampung residents. They mentioned that energy costs are a challenge for them, and it, of course, lowers the carbon footprint. Besides that, we want to implement speed bump energy on the main street of Kampung Susun Kunir. These speed bumps are embedded with kinetic energy technology that can harvest little amounts of energy when scooters or motorbikes drive over the speed bump. The first intervention is the artificial reefs, and it's the concrete structures on the picture. We want to attach them on the foundation of the Riverside Green Space. Inside of this concrete are a lot of tiny holes, and sea life and water life can attach to it, and it will improve marine biodiversity, and it will create a habitat for fish life. It will filter the water, so it's good for the local ecosystem. And the picture in the middle shows the great intervention called the Great Bubble Barrier. This is a system that will be placed diagonally into the river, and it blows bubbles into the water, and this helps to capture plastic and debris from the river. So it traps the floating waste, and it brings it to the site where people can collect it. So the water quality will improve, and there will be less plastic and debris in the river. Oh, next slide, please.
Okay, so what makes our project is that being the best opportunity for the Jakarta tourism. So this is our data from the Indonesian statistics. There, throughout the year after COVID, at 2020, there are increased numbers of the demand of the visitors in Museum of Jakarta, which means this is around in Kampung Susun Kunir and Kota Tua. So there's three indicators. There's the growing heritage tourism industry, local economic diversifications, and sustainable and inclusive growth. Then, who is our target market? There are three of our target market: international tourism, domestic visitors, and urban planners. So, there you go. This is our project deployment. We divide into 4 quarters. For the first quarter, we have a goal to define the project scope and strategic framework, and the key activities is creating operational guideline and ensuring the legal standards. To the second quarter, we have a goal. We want to activate our project planning and executions through the community involvement and project viability. And we need support for the first quarter to second quarter is government grants and investors. So, and next stage goes to the third quarter. We have a goal. We want to implement our project and systemic activations through through the infrastructure constructions and validations. Then for the fourth quarter, we want to make it sustainable, and we want to maintain our performance and operational through our activities. We want to expand our potential growth, market, and community empowerment. Then this our potential partnership is we want from the formal to informal institutions, including the government of Jakarta, governance, CSR, and researcher also communities. Okay, this is our end of the presentations. So yeah, we believe that we want to collaborate and we want to expand our collaborations to achieve the better sustainable future and sustainable communities and companies. Thank you. We are coming.
Yeah, there's room for questions. We have about 10 minutes for questions. Or perhaps from the audience, there is some recommendations, how these ideas can develop into more applicable projects. What still needs to be done. We very valuable your input as well. Maybe from online.
Bapak, Ibu, kemarin kita udah presentasikan, boleh mungkin ada pertanyaan atau apa. Kita udah kasih kayak merchandise-nya mau kayak gimana, atau brosurnya mau kayak gimana. There is
Mungkin dari warga kampung ada yang mau cerita sedikit tentang pengalaman kerja sama dengan mahasiswa beberapa bulan terakhir. Mbak Indri.
Durasi.
We have a question here. Can you maybe please introduce yourself first?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, selamat siang semuanya. Perkenalkan, saya Sally Veronica dari Presiden University. Ketemu lagi Pak, Mbak-mbak juga nih, Mbak-mbak dari UNER, Mbak Dinda ya, Lata dan lainnya. We already discussed about this and we are very happy that have you before in President University. Yeah, we discussed. We have our a little workshop together. Maybe by looking at the output that you are having, that you are presenting by today, one thing that I want to see, it's very interesting. Yeah, maybe we are really open to collaborate also, and maybe we how about the looking at the application for the ideas, is there any timeline that we can do for that? Or for the example, like you have mapping for the activity, like hunting, the merchandise and everything, and also the green vertical, is it will be applied in one time, or like we process it stage by stage here? Maybe it will be great if we can plan it together. I think that is all from me, Lata. Thank you.
Makasih Bu Sally.
Thank you, Bu Sally. Maybe we have met before, and yeah, as I said and I present before, there is a project deployment. There is a quarter 1 to quarter 4. So in a quarter 1, we want to, it's like a project scope. We focus on who will be we collaborate with and what we will make the project. And but yeah, sadly we don't have any specific timeline, but we already identified our first cohort one.
Thank you. From the Saxion team, anyone wants to add? We're all good.
I think I agree with Salsa.
Any other questions? Ada pertanyaan lagi? Yes.
Selamat sore Bapak Ibu. Perkenalkan saya my name is Tita. I'm from Institute Technology Bandung. Bandung is Fox Technology. I'm a product designer, but I'm also active in many community organizations. This kind of first congratulations for the job well done, because it will take a lot of resources, energy, time to gather everyone and then to come across with the same kind of communication methods and so on until you come up with this kind of plans. But a lot of this kind of project has been going on in many places. So, and the question is almost the same, like how would you measure the success rate of it? So like after you come back after 2 years, then what do you want to see in the kampung? And how would you make sure that this project or plan still goes on and that the spirit is still there? Well, we know that at the micro level, politics also going on. So there's a change of chief village, then people disagree, or there's an internal fight maybe among the people, so who knows? Because that has been happening in Bandung as well. Because we have done a lot of intervention with kampungs, and some succeeded, some failed, and then some specific cause of it. So I wonder if you have any specific strategies to make sure that this plan is going. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. Who would like to take it? Or perhaps also question to the case owners. When would you be happy with the project results? Okay, let's wait for the students first.
Thank you. So we'll show you our slides first. So yeah, maybe it's a tricky questions for us. And yeah, how we maintain our performance, how we maintain our sustainability on this project. Of course, we have this potential partnership. That's why from the potential partnership, we want it more sustainable. We want it more have a large scale to succeed in this living like workshop, especially to reach the right of the kampung communities. From the partnership, we not only do with the informal institutions, we want to do with the formal institutions too. Because with the formal institutions, including governance and politics, it will more sustainable, or it will more, how to say, like so it's more berkelanjutan sampai di periode atau include atau bahkan bisa dimasukkan ke RPJMD di suatu daerah di Jakarta. That's all. Thank you.
Any other questions before we move on to the team from The Hague and UNER?
Thank you, Lotta. I was going to forward the email to you. Harris, I wrote email to come here. Thanks for letting me enter this session. I'm Harris Dan Purnamali, who is urban planner here, working for government of Jakarta for 2 years. 2 years back then, we have a mandate from the government to take some kind of preparation for the company improvement program. So the question would be, the first time, which I'm just configuring, which one is coming first. So if I'm not mistaken, so the principal coming first, and then afterwards the students coming in, right? So that's why for the first time, for the principal architect, yeah. So back then when I was doing the preparation for company improvement program, there are a lot of kind of pros and cons from the communities as well. Some of them are ready for getting built better buildings or well removed, or they're afraid of getting digusur. Yeah, there's some of them not doesn't want to be data lebih baik, well designed. So the first question is, how do you configure and choose Kampung Kunir at the first place? And the second one, how do you manage within the pros and cons within the communities as well for the principal? And other things for the students, I think the one as the quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, or etc. is good for the government, because it's for now it's just they want to rebuild or doing some kind of urban development, but lack of them is just doing some kind of pemberdayaan, the community improvement value, just like what they are doing now. So it's good for the government as well for doing afterwards, after the urban development for the community as well, so they can manage within the higher value as well. So that's some of my question. Later I will ask for the afterwards. Yeah. Question is for us. All right. First place. Tadi Mas Heri, Mas Heri, thank you for the questions. I guess the reason why we choose Kunir is because of the program of what we plan, which is the architect who built the Kampung Susun Kunir was one of the architect or designer who are part of the Wati plan, the previous Wati plan. So we are part of the team continuing. So the Dutch Design Foundation and Erasmus House Jakarta thought that it would be very sustainable and also better for the community to continue what has been done by the previous Wari plan, by continuing the mission in sustainability communities for the future by conducting the second Wari plan in Kampung Susun Kunir. Yes, that's the fact that we the reason why we conduct the program in Kampung Susun Kunir, but also touching a bit about your comment about pros and cons about kampung in general and how they can have. I guess there are so many ways to achieve adequate housing for kampung communities. And me personally, and maybe also Linda, believe that Kampung Susun Kunir is one of the good example that successfully changed the way people in the urban place views kampung, and also from the inside as well, for them to kind of have a motivation to move forward, reaching their future for a better future, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you want to add more?
A bit. Like
with the history that Kampung Kunir, the experiences Kampung Susun Kunir had to go through, it was unfortunate that the start of the story sort of began with the evictions because no one wants their homes taken away. Because it's an understandable fact that if you have to move away from your home, that's quite a bitter experience. But what I think from our predecessors, from how the government and the many volunteers that came to the kampung built this relationship of trust, and how they were able to be part of how the Kampung Susun Kunir building was built. Maybe if you're familiar with the building, it's shaped like how a little kid would draw a house. That was one of the highlights that the architect told us because they wanted to make it like a typical apartment that's flat, but the residents said it didn't look like home. So I think examples like that communities have a say in what development could be like. I think that's a good path towards the future. But it's also that we understand the reality is that not all communities have this kind of luck with how things go. It's unfortunate that some eviction stories don't have an ending that's leading to a better thing. It's an experience that we have in Jakarta that maybe relating to Bu Butita's question before, like for a Kampung Collective, I think this kind of development with kampungs shouldn't be up to designers or to students. It should be the responsibility for the government as well. And they are taking steps to do good work, but it's also that we want to show how interesting the Kampung Susun Kunir and Kampung Balokkan's involvement in these projects are, because it's quite unique. I think as designers as well, we don't have much work that's quite social because design sometimes is just for people who can afford it. But when we have projects like this, when the ecosystem of researchers that have been built and continue to be built in the kampungs are fostered, I think that's quite nice. That maybe we would request like, oh, in maybe 2 years, if you come back to the kampung, we would like to see more researchers doing work there, more projects being funded there. And not only in Kampung Susun Kunir, but also the different kampungs that if you ask them, they might not know like a single answer, like what makes them unique. But there's always like different things in the community. And from what we learned with this Dutch and Indonesian collaboration is that, oh, community is something that we are proud of. Like that's something that we can't afford to lose. Yeah, sorry to take the time from the THUAS students. Have I been doing a good job distracting them? It's up to you now.
Yeah, maybe just adding a little bit more a bit. Yeah, about our experience, we believe that one of the big takeaways from our experience is that to be successful in creating providing better communities like housing especially is that which involving them in the process, I guess. I guess Kampung Susun Kunir is one of the example how it could be done so that everything is like was made for the community and by the community and from the community, I guess. Yeah. In an ideal world, of course, yeah. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. Looking at the time, let's move on to the next team. Also from the University area. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, students from Saxion joining online and you guys joining here. I would like to invite Arsha, Leo, and we have Awak-san joining online. The floor is yours.
Can you start now? So good afternoon, everyone. Selamat sore semuanya. We are from collaboration from Universitas Airlangga and Den Haag University of Applied Sciences. We'd like to present our findings and our proposal on what can we do in the future about sustainable steps and Kunir's green skill hub. Next. Okay, first of all, let me introduce to you our team. First of all, Canario.
Everyone, my name is Canario. I'm majoring in environmental engineering. And okay. And here with me, Chantal.
Hello everyone, my name is Chantal. Hello everyone, good morning and good afternoon. So my name is Chantal. I'm originally from the Caribbean, but I moved to the Netherlands for school, and I'm currently studying European Studies at the Hague University, where we had the opportunity to do a minor about development cooperation, and that led me to being a part of this project.
Okay. Okay, so I'm Asha. I'm also from environmental engineering with Canario, and then the next one, Anakkan.
Yes. Hi everyone, I'm Araksan. I'm a communication student who also joined the COIO project. Yes.
Thank you, Anakkan. Okay, next slide.
Yes, can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So our research project started with a question also. So the question was also pretty similar to what if communities across Indonesia continue to dispose their waste without proper sorting or education on waste management? We wanted to turn this question a bit. So what if instead we saw waste as an opportunity for change? For us, this research was not truly all about searching for problems, but it was also about finding solutions, but mostly empowering communities to take control of their own waste. So my partners here will show you about our journey a bit more now.
Okay, the first thing that we can see here is we went to Bandar Gebang to see Bandar Gebang landfill to see how over the years this unfiltered garbage and trash reach the landfill and it is not sorted properly. And we can see over there it's just a lot of plastic that can still be used again and recycled. And we all see communities from Bandar Gebang, BG2, yeah. Yeah, so we learn from the how they kind of store their waste and how they process the waste from other places and before they reach the landfill. And then the next day,
next few days, we went to Wasteful Change, where we see how recycling from organic recycling to plastic recycling and everything that like BSF, maggot effect, yeah. And we see that they are really good at doing their job, but yeah. And the next day we went to Town Compost. They also did the same thing, but when we the difference was the leader. She started from her own house, and then they moved to a bigger taman. Yeah, a bigger park to handle the housing waste from the area. Yeah. Okay, next.
And then next we visited Manggarai Cottage, and here we received a lot of insight, and we are accompanied by Sharifa. She's one of the person who learned about geology, and she learned about the waste, the gates, the river, and also we have meeting with NPU and Lentanya, where we learn to reduce waste, plastic waste. We also learn about proper plastic products that can be refilled from NPU, and that's pretty much.
So after we did all this field work, because it's me and Araksan's first time in Indonesia, we wanted to take a day as a vacation kind of to go to Bogor, and Leo escorted us. And even though we were technically on a vacation, it still was apparent to us all the waste all the waste that we saw there, that we immediately took pictures, and then we started discussing about it as well. And yeah, as you can see there, points to anyone who can find the dead snake in the lake there. Yeah. So after this, we discussed as a group what our proposals can be for the kampung and for a more sustainable environment. So later on, we did interviews with the kampung community and with the leaders about how they view waste management and what we can do instead of just coming in with our ideas. So one of the key things that we learned was that they have received training before on how to separate their waste, but not much was done with this afterwards. And also we learned about a member of the kampung whose only income is from collecting plastic waste. And later on, we use these ideas as our guidelines, basically, for our proposals. So the proposals we came up with is an e-learning platform where we can share educational videos and tips, etc. So we can collaborate with others on how to collaborate with others on how to improve this and just keep building it. And then we also decided to see how it's like to work as a plastic waste collector per day. And then after this, we thought it would be a good idea to donate a waste bin at the kampung that's specifically for plastic waste, making the job of the waste picker easier. Now I will give the floor to Alaksan to explain our green, to Arsha, to explain our green e-learning platform.
So the e-learning platform that we mentioned was Green Skill Hub. uh, it's for empowering communities and for sustainable future for the communities. The mission is to educate, engage, and empower communities across Indonesia to take control of the waste management through interactive learning, gamification, and real incentive by making waste sorting accessible and rewarding. We strive to build a future where waste is a resource and not just waste. So, our three pillars in this Green Skill Hub are well, education and awareness to provide hands-on training and then workshop and digital learning to ensure communities understand the importance of waste management. And then second, gamification and incentives. These are for encouraging and participation through point-based awards. And then community-based driven impact, building to build a sustainable waste ecosystem by ignoring resistance and supporting small businesses and tracking progress through community dashboards. That's the three pillars of Green Scale Hub. Next, Archon will explain more.
Yes, so basically we have an online learning platform called Green Skill Hub. It will consist of e-learnings, e-books, and e-gifts. We'll also have some infographics, for example, that could be hung up in the kampung. They'll get to engage with each other through gamification. If you scan perhaps like a QR code, you'll watch it in educational video and you'll receive points. So that's a form of gamification, but it's also that you can gain rewards like e-gifts, like a bag or a bottle. Next to that, next slide, please. We also have the online and offline platform. So basically, if someone's not cannot access, doesn't have access to a laptop, they could also engage and learn through workshops, movie screenings, and green games. Green games are more focused on the youth. Next.
So this is what the plastic collector in Kampung Kunir this was, and this is before we did field work. We tried to feel how is it how is it feel, how does it feel when you become a plastic collector. Yes. And we have a video of this. Supposed to be music. It's fine, but
And now, we're going to clean it up.
the process of our cleaning things up and sorting the plastic, like the plastic is doing all we do. And let me tell you, it was very exhausting for a day. Those are the unrecyclable waste that handle plastic. This after
Very clean.
Supposed to pile up garbage there. It's gone now.
Apa ini? Apa ini? Apa ini? Apa ini? Apa ini?
And this is how we help reduce plastic waste to the landfill.
That's the next project. So based on these proposals, we can look at the different kind of benefits each one can have. So the ecological benefits of the ecological benefits of the waste bin that we donated can be seen as less opportunities for littering and less waste that could just, because a lot of the waste bins at the Kampung are also just open buckets, you could say, so less chances of the wind blowing them away and creating more litter. The social benefits can be from the educational programs, bringing people together, and the economic benefits of us cleaning up the plastic waste collectors area can be seen as him working more efficiently. And the waste bin itself can also be making his work easier. And then, of course, the educational benefits from, the educational benefits are from we created a poster as well to accompany our waste bin. That's in the back there.
Okay, the back you can see there. Sampah plastik tidak sama. That's the example of the poster that introduced to accompany the trash bin. So people would only throw plastic recyclable trash in it.
Give the word to Anton.
Yes. So in the future, our hopes for future development, while we're starting at a small scale, we envision this project to, of course, grow larger in movement and to make a lasting impact. So we have come up with 4 key development ideas that are essential to us. First and foremost, the expanding of waste segregation, what Chantal already talked about. So more waste categories means higher recycling efficiency. So by introducing more and separate bins for different plastic types, we hope to improve sorting and reduce waste. Next to that, we have the collaboration with the NGOs. So we hope to have strong partnerships that could help us expand our educational resources. For example, we talked to Laptanya also about their card game that could also be included in something like a Green Skill Hub. And third is to create more incentive programs to have more reward-driven participation. And as last, we hope to secure more funding for the expansion because, of course, the growth requires support and requires help from the government, government grants, or other sponsors. So by having these areas developed, we hope to make a change in the waste management and to make it into a sustainable, community-driven initiative that benefits the people and also the environment. Yes, Chantal, you can go.
So what have we learned? We learned that waste management in reality needs to work where the community willing to maintain the clean environment and also government and collaborators also wants to facilitate to them so that they could achieve the clean environment. And we have a quote in here, which says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Thank you for your lesson back.
Thank you so much. And maybe another round of applause for the team from the. And looking at the time, I'm sorry we're running a little bit late, but I feel like we have so much to discuss today. Are there questions from the room here for the team? Okay, I see a few hands.
Thank you for the presentation. Let me introduce myself and my colleague. I'm Bernard and Rashid. We are both from Lebanon, Directorate of Water Resources. So maybe I want to ask some questions for the board of things that have presented before. The first question is, I want to ask that you guys have strategic issues. Have you guys found this issue and the solutions when you do the project? Like I'm concerned about the flood risk, right, and safetyness about the project. Maybe for the teams before, like Riverside. I haven't seen about the like the study of the regulations because I saw the a project that you plan like the infrastructure about the rivers. So maybe I want to ask the regulations and study about the safetyness, right? And I'm concerned about flood risk. Have you guys already planned and have the solutions about the flood issues? And for the next questions, I think yeah, like for the both of the teams, I want to ask about the sustainable plan, right? Like maybe operation and maintenance, because I think you guys can build the infrastructure in that location. So honest about the operation and maintenance and maybe for the local champions. Mungkin untuk masyarakat yang untuk diperdayakan gimana? Like, mungkin ada sempat mention juga terkait dengan RPJMD. Nah itu mungkin bisa apakah sudah ada study about the plan for the future, right? For the local community in Kampung Kunir or location have you studied for? And untuk juga saya juga ingin apresiasi. I want to appreciate the board of teams and everyone that involved to this project because this is so fascinating. It's like I'm so amazed the collaboration, the co-create. I think this is yang dibutuhkan Indonesia. So yeah, good job guys. Thank you. Mungkin
Terima kasih banyak atas pertanyaannya. I think the first question was more for the Saxion and their team who talk about the river clean space. Do you want to share some thoughts about the consideration for flood mitigation and the policy? How you or maybe from online?
That's a question.
Yeah.
Can you maybe repeat the question?
Okay. Okay, again, for the short. I want to ask about the flood risk management plan for your project, right? Like you guys have planned the riverside in the Ciliwung River. I want to ask about, have you guys studied the regulation and the flood risk management plan in that location? Because itu di sempadan sungai. So that's the one I'm concerned about.
Okay, did you get the question, Marisa?
Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
The
maybe
question
from
is
someone
about
from there.
whether, like how and if the team, especially related to the idea for the riverside green space, how do you take into consideration the regulation and also flood mitigation?
To be honest, we didn't really take it into account while designing. To be fair, but maybe this is something next group can look into if they want to, and if it can be realized, and about the regulation and the floodings. But we really didn't look into it. Sorry.
Thank you for the questions. So, maybe for the riverside one, there is like a space in Kampung. So, our ideas is inspired by the Kampung project one, beside the riverside. Then, if I saw the FPJMD of the Jakarta, FPJMD, Bapeda, Jakarta before, I saw that there is like a holiday that's out of the what is like water management on the flood risk in the FPJMD of the Bapeda Jakarta 2020.
So I think this is like commenting. I want to give recommendation. So I think the green strip or riverside space that you presented before is like more we call nature-based solution. So that's a good solution that you have presented, but maybe for my recommendation, it would be great if you integrate the plan to the flood risk management plan in that locations, because the issues, if we build the riverside space and we don't consider the mitigation or the flood risk management plan before, I think it would be destroyed by flood, right? So I think, I mean, for the next feature, you have to integrate the solutions or the project to the flood risk management plan. So because this is so good, but have so many things to do that the consideration for the riverside regulation, right? Karena di Indonesia juga kita udah punya peraturan tentang sempadan sungai. Itu juga yang menjadi penting. Dan bagaimana nanti sebenarnya kalau misalnya, because we are in Bappenas, we have studied about flood risk management plan. Because if we consider about flood risk management plan, we have to integrate all the solutions. Right? Karena kalau misalnya kita lihat Ciliwung River, I think we have know about the issues untuk Ciliwung River. Karena salah satunya sampah dan juga banjir. Jadi itu juga yang penting dan sebenarnya intinya adalah kita harus mengintegrasikan solusi yang tadi ke dalam Park Waste Management Plan ya. Because this is so good.
So much for also your recommendation. I think this could be a very interesting next step for the students and for the Living Lab. I mean, today we presented some concepts based on our findings and our interactions with the residents. And now we are looking into, okay, which concepts have potential to be developed further. And for that, yeah, we need collaboration with the governments, with, again, with the residents, with companies to get those insights. So we would love to have the opportunity.
We'd love to collaborate soon.
Okay, that's great. We're looking at the time. Let's do one more question from online. From Ibu Wibi. Hello, thank you for sharing. I was wondering, since there are already several existing apps for waste management, why did you propose developing a new app instead of collaborating with an existing one? And how do you envision your app sustainability and competitiveness towards the others? Thank you, Ibu Widi, for the question. Anyone wants to take it?
Alexion will answer this question.
Yes. Thank you for your question. We propose Green Skill Hub not to really compete with existing apps, but let's just say to complement them. So instead of focusing solely on the aspect of waste collection, we try to integrate education, gamification. So things that we call it in Dutch, we say there's a gat in the markt. We try to fill it up with a solution, and we envision like a collaboration with existing platforms like Gojek or other waste management services such as Waste for Change to enhance the impact. So to give people their rewards for recycling.
Thank you. Any additions? Okay, does that answer your question, Ibu Widi? See nodding. Okay. One short last question.
Sorry, saya environmental activities in Jakarta, because it's involved in saya apresiasi dan semua program-program yang tadi dipresentasikan, but I have some questions. First of all, from this, I saw from the presentation that one of your project is to do plastic waste sorting. Is it true? Yes. My question is, have you found your provider or your off-taker or your recycling? Because I think it's very difficult to handle plastic waste. I could suggest you, maybe you can think how to minimize the waste. So for the plastic waste system, so I think it is more sustainable than to recycle the plastic waste. That's predictions. Because I don't think we can stop the plastic as long as we keep consuming and we keep consuming. So the only one that we can do is how to minimize the plastic waste. That's the first question. And the second question for the first tip,
So we have a lot of projects. We have a lot of recommendations that which one is the priority and how far did you reach the institution in Jakarta. But all of you, I appreciate your policies. Thank you for teaching
First question, you want to take it?
Okay. Wait. So, separating plastic and rubber, yeah, we still need to search for maybe other NGOs to help us on doing that. So for now, we haven't found any, but in the future, I hope that we will able to collaborate with NGOs. Yeah.
As for the plastic, we know that also people are going to consume more and more things that could resulted in tons of plastic waste. That's why we are considering to make the e-learning where there they will be learning about how they can reduce their consumption so that the plastic waste will be reduced from the source.
Also to add, we don't want to just come into the kampung and say, telling them what to do kind of thing. We wanted to just, start from like planting a seed, starting small, and then see how we can build this up. Because when we talked to the kampung residents as well, they showed us how they use, yes, they were using reusable plates and cups, etc. So it's not something that they produce so much plastic. It's also the waste collector collects it from the whole area as well.
Does that answer the first question, more or less? Okay, second question was for Team Bond. What is your most, preferable or first join for the intervention?
So, our project was like maybe it will be a tropical garden because why? Why tropical garden? Because the residents want a green space, open spaces. They want like there's a lot of trees and there's a economic expansion to solve the tropical garden. And then this is also we want to make sure the represent this space. So we want to propose to the local government, not local government. It's more like to the head of the town, like Kelurahan first. We want to propose. Do we give the do you no? I mean, apakah mereka mau mendukung atau apakah ini legal untuk dibuatkan representative spaces? And then after that, maybe we can go to the treasure hunt to boost the economic of the Jakarta community.
Okay, thank you, Salsa. Looking at the time, let's wrap it up. I hope the conversations are still going on after today. I hope this was just a start. We have shared our ideas, we have shared where are the opportunities, and now we hope that those can become a start for further development and eventually benefit all of us in a better Jakarta and more sustainable future. I would like to thank everyone joining online. Sorry for running so late, but it's been a very good discussion. Let's wave all in the room. I think we can wrap it up online, and then here I will share some final words, and then I would like to close the session unless Linda and Ika have a final word.
We can chat with you.
Yeah? Okay, thank you so much. We're gonna finish the online session. Thank you very much for joining. Terima kasih. And don't hesitate to reach out to Linda or me for further questions about Living Lab or the project.